Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's discuss the top most 25 SDET or QA automation frequently asked interview questions. Okay, along with interview ready answers, and these interview questions are the ones that you must know before attending any interviews. Okay, let's get started. So what is the difference between Selenium and Playwright? This is the entry level question in any interview. So the Selenium supports multiple browser using WebDriver protocol, whereas Playwright directly communicates with browsers and provides faster execution and provides the functionalities like auto waits, multiple tabs handling, network interception, and better stability. Okay. So the next question goes like, what is page object model? Page object model is a design pattern where web elements and page methods are maintained in a separate page classes to improve reusability, readability, and maintenance. Okay, this is how you can answer to the interviewer. The next question goes like, difference between implicit wait and explicit wait. Implicit wait applies globally for all the elements, while explicit wait waits for a specific condition on a particular element. Okay, and then the next question goes like, how do you handle dynamic web elements? You can answer this in a short form like, I use dynamic XPath or CSS locators or selectors and relative locators, which are part of Selenium 4, explicit waits and stable attributes instead of hard coding the values. Okay, and the next question goes like, what is tail element reference exception? Okay, so it occurs when the document object model gets refreshed and the previously located element is no longer attached to the page. Okay, then you may face stale element reference exception, and to fix this we relocate the element and use the explicit wait. Okay, the next question goes like, explain your automation framework architecture. Okay, if he explain ask you to explain step by step, you should go in detail, or else you can give the interviewer with the interview ready answer as, my framework follows hybrid follow framework architecture using page object model, testng or junit, whichever the current project that you are using, and maven or gradle, whichever the build tool that you are using, and extend reports or allure reports, and Jenkins or TeamCity for CI/CD, and log4j for logging, and utility classes, data driven approach using Excel or JSON. Okay, so these are the things that you can tell and mention on the framework component part. Okay, and then how do you perform API testing? You can tell, I use rest assured for API automation and postman for manual API validations to validate status codes, response body, headers, authentication, schema validation, and response time. Okay, so this is how you can give the interview ready answer. The next question goes like, difference between put and patch. Put updates the entire resource, whereas patch updates only the specific fields. Okay, and what is CI/CD? CI/CD is nothing but it automates code integration, testing, and deployment using tools like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, or Azure DevOps. Okay, how do you execute tests in parallel? We execute tests in parallel using testng parallel execution configuration in testng.xml file and the thread count. This is the high level answer. There are other methods also to execute tests in parallel using Maven plugins and other. Explore more on that. If we ask, elaborate the answer. Okay, now what are the challenges you faced in automation? You can tell some frequently faced challenges in your real time. For example, locating the dynamic elements, synchronization issues, test data dependencies, and environment instabilities, frequent UI changes. Okay, so you can tell them I have resolved this using weights, reusable utilities and stable locators. Okay, the 12th question goes like, how do you handle authentication in APIs? Okay, you can tell this in a short form like using basic authentication or bearer authentication or OAuth 2 authentication, or using the API keys depending upon the project requirements. Okay, the next question goes on the agile methodology, and in short you can tell agile is an iterative software development approach where development and testing happen continuously in shorter sprints. Okay, if they ask the disadvantages, you can tell we have improper or less or lack of documentations, and the cost is more for agile. Okay, the next thing, the next question is on the difference between smoke testing and regression testing. Smoke testing verifies critical functionalities, whereas regression testing validates the existing functionality, works after the changes. Okay, so regression testing in the sense end-to-end testing. Okay, guys, and what is XPath? XPath is a locator strategy used to identify web elements in XML or HTML DOM structure. Okay, the next question goes like, the difference between defined element and find elements. Find element returns a single element and throws exception if not found. Find elements return a list and returns empty list if elements are present. How do you manage test data? By using external files like Excel, JSON, CSV, database or environment based configurations. What is Jenkins used for? It's used for, say, continuous integration, automated tested execution, scheduling the jobs, and generating the reports. Okay, and the next question goes on the difference between abstract class and interface. Abstract class can have both abstract and non-concrete methods, whereas interface mainly defines method contracts. Okay, guys, there are lot of differences and lot of explanation you can give on these answers, but to be ready for the interview and how to answer in the interview quickly, you can refer these documentations. Okay, then what is synchronization in Selenium? Synchronization ensures automation waits until elements are properly loaded and ready for interaction. Okay, the next question goes like, how do you capture the screenshots on failure? We can use take screenshot interface inside the test ng listeners or try catch blocks. Then next, what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system used for tracking and managing the code changes. Okay, the next question comes on SQL join types, the types of joins and why it is used. Okay, and then the next question goes on the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion. Okay, you can tell the interviewer that hard assertion stops execution after the failure, while soft assertion continues execution and reports failures at the end. Then the last question goes on, why should we hire you as an SDET or a QA automation engineer or a tester? You can tell I have strong automation in strong knowledge in automation, framework development from scratch, API testing knowledge, CI/CD knowledge, debugging skills, and problem solving skills. Okay, I can contribute to both quality assurance and automation development efficiently. Okay, so the next question goes on, what do you know about BDD? BDD is an automation approach where test scenarios are written in simple business readable language using Gherkin format like given, when, then. It improves collaboration between developers, testers, and business teams. Commonly used tools for BDD are Cucumber and SpecFlow. Cucumber is mostly widely used. Okay, so this is how you can answer to the interviewer for these top 25 to 26 interview questions, and these are must prepare be prepared interview questions, guys. You should know this at any cost. Okay, so if you are looking for end-to-end interview questions along with detailed answers on as in almost all the companies including product based, service based, startups and mid-sized companies, and also if you are looking for study materials and complete notes, please do check out for the link in the description box that I have provided. You should be able to crack any interviews after going through it, and you should be able to work in real time projects. Okay, so let me know if you have any queries or questions or comments in the comment section or in the email. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I have thank you so much for watching my video. All the best for your next interview. Keep rocking, keep testing.